Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Maro, and this is day one of our 5-day yoga practice. Today, we'll focus on grounding in our bodies to establish a connection with ourselves and to help us look away from the thinking mind as we ground our attention in the feeling body, which helps with anxiety, stress, also with cultivating a sense of stability and presence. So I hope you'll join me today. We'll need something to sit on. We'll start in an upright seated position. You might want to grab a folded blanket that we'll use later, placing it under the knees. So let's jump right in. For day one, come into your upright seated position, preferably sitting on something like a bolster, a cushion, or maybe your folded blanket, elevating the hips. And then check in to see that you're sitting on your sits bones. So you might lean to one side, pulling the flesh back, lean to the other side, pull the booty back so you can find your sits bones, those bony points that you feel when you're sitting. And once you arrive, go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And before we officially begin, I'd like to remind you to honor your body and its needs today. Know that everything I offer today and over the next few days is merely a suggestion, so feel free to modify or skip anything at all. Looking away from the thinking mind, let your attention settle on the feeling body. So release distractions, thoughts, to-do lists, look away. What happened 5 minutes ago, what's to come, anything that is weighing on you. Let's let it all go with 3 releasing breaths. Breathing in deeply through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh the exhale. Breathing in through the nose as deeply as you can. Open your mouth and release. Last one, inhaling deeply through the nose. Open your mouth and let it all go. Now bring your attention to your pelvis, your legs, your feet. Allow them to feel grounded and heavy. And now feel your sits bones. Bring your attention to your sits bones. And imagine long, strong roots growing out of your sits bones, going into the earth like a tree. You can even imagine that your roots are growing out of your legs and your feet. Let's ground into the earth here. And let's breathe into that connection. So as you inhale, feel yourself rooting down into the earth. And as you exhale, release any tension in the body. Breathing in, sending that grounding energy down into the earth. Breathing out, allow the tree of your spine and torso to gently rise up. Breathing in, send the roots down. Breathing out, let your tree grow taller. 2 more breaths like this on your own. Breathing in to root down, breathing out to rise up. Beautiful breathing, everyone. We'll slowly open our eyes, coming back and finding ourselves in tabletop on hands and knees. So you can push the prop aside. Go ahead and grab that folded blanket. We'll place it under the knees. And find yourself in table. Knees are under your hips, hands in line with the face. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Feel that connection in the hands and the knees and the tops of the feet. And drop your belly here. Drop your belly towards the earth, lifting the tailbone, lifting your chest, maybe your gaze, and breathe in here in cow pose. And as you breathe out, begin to round and tuck the spine, releasing the head and neck. So inhaling, lift the tailbone, arch the spine, lift the chest and the gaze. Breathing out, round and tuck here. Releasing the head and neck as you press the floor away. Good. A few more rounds like this on your own. Find your own rhythm, your own pace as you check in with how the body feels today. Staying connected to the sensations, staying connected to the hands, the knees, tops of the feet as you warm up the spine. One more. And we'll meet in tabletop. From here, step the right leg through to find low lunge. You can tuck the back toes if that helps you find your balance. Breathing in to rise up. Check in with that front knee. Make sure it's tracking over the toes. Relax the low ribs down as you reach the fingertips up. Wow, the sun is really bright. You can stay here or feel free to come into crescent lunge. So your choice here. You can lift that back knee off the mat. Wherever you are, breathe deeply, feeling strong and stable through the feet and the legs. One more breath here. And gently release the back knee down. If you're in crescent lunge, we'll all release the hands down, coming back through tabletop for a few more cat-cows or any organic movement that your body is asking for here. So just feel into your body as you continue to look away from the thinking mind, as you continue to ground yourself into the body and the sensations. Just a few more breaths here. And we'll come back to neutral tabletop, stepping the left leg through. Tucking the back toes if that feels good for you. Coming up, low lunge. Check in with that front knee. Make sure it's tracking over the toes. Good. Relaxing the low ribs down as you reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Stay here, or you have an option to come into crescent lunge, lifting that back knee off the mat. Good. Wherever you are, find your breath. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose, if that works for you today. Feeling solid, stable, and strong through the feet, through the legs. Gently releasing the back knee down, hands down. We'll step that back foot up for standing forward fold. So let's hang here for a few breaths. Really release the head and neck. You can find ragdoll, holding opposite elbows. A generous bend in the knees here. Generous bend in the knees, and just hang heavy as you anchor your attention on the feet, the backs of the legs, breathing into the stretch sensations. On an inhale, lift halfway to a flat spine. You can stay here as you exhale or feel free to fold. And then inhale to rise, reaching the arms out and up. Full body stretch here, and hands at heart center as you exhale. Awesome. We're going to find Tadasana. I'm going to come to the middle of the mat so you can see me a little better. So finding your feet hips distance apart. This is a really grounding posture here. Lift and spread the toes. Good. Placing them back on the mat, on the surface that you're standing on. Feeling both feet and the three corners of each foot, the mound of the big toe, mound of the pinky toe, and the heel. And see if you can distribute the weight evenly between both feet. You might even shift the weight forward and back a little, just encouraging a little more weight into the heels. Good. Press the feet into the earth. Let's send those roots down again. A gentle engagement in the legs. Very gentle activation. Nothing too intense here. Just enough to feel the kneecaps lift a little. Good. Moving up the body. Let's make sure everything is stacking. So our head is over our heart, rib cage over the pelvis. Relaxing the shoulders down. And now as you're pressing down through the feet, I want you to feel like the crown of your head is pressing into something, like you had a little eye bag at the crown of your head. Good. Relax the shoulders. Relax your face. Take 2 deep breaths here. You're growing your tree. I guess you're growing a tree on this mountain in mountain pose. Feel super grounded. One more breath. Awesome job, everyone. From here, we'll find a wide-legged stance. So let your feet go a little wider as we prepare for Warrior Two. All right, from here, let the left toes turn to face the short edge of the mat. All right, you can adjust your feet so that your stance is comfortable and bend into that left knee. And let's kind of pulse in and out of it a little bit just to let our knee know where we're going. Warming it up, just a couple rounds here. Pressing into it, make sure it's tracking over the toes and pressing the floor away. Good. Now we'll land into this position. Check in with the knee again. Make sure it's tracking over the toes. Bringing the arms out to the sides. Good. Warrior Two, your gaze is over your front fingers. Feel your feet here, both feet. And your legs, your strong, solid, grounded legs. Rooting down to rise up as the crown of your head reaches for the sky. The body language of this pose speaks to solid self-sufficiency and grounded strength. So breathe into that here. Feel that for yourself. Gently release Warrior Two down. Good job, everyone. Turning the toes to face the long edge of the mat, and we'll just switch sides. Bringing our attention to the right leg, right foot, turning the toes to face the short edge of the mat. And let's find that action of bending into the knee as we warm up. Just kind of bending into it, seeing how we feel, pressing the floor away as we straighten the leg. Make sure you feel into that back leg too as you're doing this, right? Feel both feet, both legs equally. And let's land in our Warrior Two. Okay, check with the knee again. It's tracking over the toes. Might look forward a little. Good. And once you're ready, arms out to the sides, fingertips reaching. Awesome. Hold here and breathe as your gaze looks over the front fingertips. Breathe into that solid self-sufficiency. Breathe into that grounded strength that you have access to at any time when you bring your attention into the feeling body. And you come back to your long, strong roots that you've planted in the earth. Release this down gently, arms down, straighten the front leg. Let's come back to center and we'll heel toe the feet together and we'll find tree pose, the ultimate grounding posture, one of my favorites. So let's start in Tadasana again, feet hips distance apart. All right, let's shift the weight into the left leg, okay? And start to kind of micro bend the knee and just pulse in and out of this a little so we can, again, we're telling the leg that we're going to balance on it. Here's option 1 for tree pose is toes down, heel up. Option 2 would be the foot between the ankle and the knee, gently pressing into the foot, into the leg pressing back into the foot. Okay, we never press into the knee joint. The option 3 would be above the knee joint, pressing into the inner thigh. Again, the secret for keeping your balance here is pressing into the thigh with the foot, allowing the thigh to press back into the foot. Good, your hands can be at heart center. Maybe you wanna grow your tree. It's very windy here this morning in Kalamata, so I'm gonna stay right here with the hands at heart. And then find one spot to focus on. Okay, your drishti. Find your drishti. I'm looking at that little red light on the GoPro. Hold and breathe, sending that grounding energy down into the earth, rooting to rise up, grow your tree. One more breath, you got this. Micro bend in that standing leg. We don't want to lock the knee. Good, we'll release this down. Beautiful, shake it out. Whew. And we'll find ourselves in Tadasana again so we can get set up. So feel into your body, feel your feet. Now feel how you shift the weight into that right leg, right foot, and then a little micro bend in the knee as you pulse up and down, kind of just telling the leg, we're gonna balance on it. Glute, wake up. Okay, so option 1, toes down, heel up. Here's tree pose, or between the ankle and the knee. Again, you don't press on the knee joint, or you can come up, pressing the foot into the inner thigh, the thigh back into the foot. Choose one. Be happy with your tree, whatever that is today. Really press into that foot. Send your roots down as you grow your tree, lengthening your spine, your torso. Find one spot to focus on and breathe. Feeling grounded in the body, taking a break from the thinking mind. All right, let's release this down, shake it out. Good work, everyone. We will come back to our standing posture at the front of the mat. Arms by your sides. Good. Feel your body here. Feel your feet. Breathing in, reach the arms out and up. Breathing out, side bend. Breathing in towards the center. Maybe you look up. Side bend the other way as you exhale. Good. Let's do one more round on your own. Feeling your feet, your legs solid, strong, pressing into the earth as you reach up. Use your breath. Good. Breathing in through center. This time we'll exhale, hinge from the hips, bend in the knees, and fold all the way down, releasing the head and neck. Breathing in, lift halfway to a flat spine. Breathing out, plant the hands. We'll step back to table. Preparing ourselves for puppy pose or downward facing dog. First, I'll demonstrate puppy pose. So let the hips be directly over the knees and try to keep that connection here because it'll make it easier when you come into puppy pose so you don't feel like you're holding the weight of your hips up. So hips over knees, reach the hands forward without shifting your torso, and sink your body, your upper body between the arms. Having a block or a cushion or a bolster right under the forehead might be helpful so you land on something and just allow that decompression in the spine here, just a baby inversion. Breathing deeply. So here's puppy pose. Or from table, if you'd like, you can tuck the toes, lifting the hips, finding that upside down V shape for downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Feel that connection in the hands and the feet. Hugging the armpits into the chin as you release the head and neck. Good. Hold and breathe for a few breaths here. Feel free to find any organic movement in your down dog if that feels appropriate for you right now. Honoring your body and its needs. Love it. Let's all meet in table as we find child's pose. Send the hips back. Maybe you relax, rest your forehead on something. And let's take a few breaths here in our child's pose. Feeling the weight of our bodies melting into the earth. Just let yourself surrender. Let yourself soften here in child's pose. Allow the ground to hold you. And from here, we'll gently come up to find a seat for a short breathing practice. I'm going to sit on my bolster again. Short breathing practice and a meditation practice. We'll just be here for a few minutes. Hang in there with me. This is the best part. This is where the magic happens. Good. So come back to your seat, pulling the flesh back, feeling the sits bones, letting the legs and the pelvis feel really grounded and heavy. Right, grounded and heavy. Let's come back to that connection. As the crown of the head grows up towards the sky, a lofty treetop, reaching for the sun. Good. You might consider placing one hand on the belly, maybe one hand at your low ribs or at your chest, whatever feels comfortable for you. And just begin to lengthen and deepen your breath. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Breathing in deeply through the nose. Breathing out fully from the nose to the mouth. Just a long, gentle breath. No strain or force here. And as you stretch your breath out, begin to notice the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. And see if you can balance them out. Make them equal. So you might consider counting your inhale, seeing what that count is. A count of 2, 3, 4. And then see if you can breathe out for that same count. If you're feeling anxious or restless, you might consider lengthening the exhale so that it's twice as long as the inhale. So if you're breathing in for a count of 3, allow yourself to breathe out for a count of 6. Try that for a few rounds. Very grounding breathing technique. And then the opposite is true as well. If you're feeling sleepy or dull, lengthen the inhale. Make it twice as long as the exhale. So check in with your state of mind, how you're feeling today, and adjust your breath accordingly for just 3 more breaths. Relax the effort, maybe placing the hands on your thighs. You can close your eyes if that feels good for you and just hang in there with me for 1 minute here. Bringing your attention to your breath. Just allow your breath to be natural, release the effort. And you might focus your attention right at the nose, upper lip area, that triangle right here. Just focus on your breath. Feeling the cool air that moves in through the nose and the subtle warm air that flows out. And let's bring some attention to this beautiful exchange of breath between us and the trees. Noticing how we breathe in, what the trees breathe out, and then the trees breathe in, what we breathe out. We're breathing each other's air. Feel into that interconnectedness here for just a little bit longer between us and the trees as we ground into the body, as we feel and follow our breath. And let this beautiful exchange of breath ground us into the earth, just like the trees. Gently bring the palms together, hands at heart. You can bow your head towards your heart, pausing for a moment of reflection, a moment of gratitude. I hope you can take this sense of solid self-sufficiency and grounded strength with you into the day. Thank you for taking the time to practice with me. I know sometimes it can be hard, but it's always worth it. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Make sure you like this video, leave me a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you.